unwritten nature of the Constitution. The Constitution is the fundamental law of the land in our country. It has defined the authority and jurisdiction of all the three organs of the Union government and the nature of interrelationship between them. Hence, the Parliament has to operate within the limits prescribed by the Constitution. There is also a legal distinction between the legislative authority and the constituent authority of the Parliament. Moreover, to effect certain amendments to the Constitution, the ratification of half of the states is also required. In Britain, on the other hand, the Constitution is neither written nor there is anything like a fundamental law of the land. Table 22.5 Allocation of seats in Parliament S.No. States UTs no of seats in Rajya Sabha no of seats in Lok Sabha I States 1. Andhra Pradesh 1125-2. Arunachal Pradesh 123. Assam 714-4. Bihar 1645. Chhattisgarh 511.
6 Goa 127.
Gujarat 1126-8. Haryana 510-9. Himachal Pradesh 3rd April 2010. Jammu and Kashmir 4th June 2011. Jharkhand 6-14-12. Karnataka 12-28-13. Kerala 9-20-14. Madhya Pradesh 11-29-15. Maharashtra 19-48-16. Manipur 1st February 2017. Meghalaya
6 Goa 127.
Gujarat 1126-8.
Haryana 510-9. Himachal Pradesh 3rd April 2010. Jammu and Kashmir 4th June 2011. Jharkhand 6-14-12. Karnataka 12-28-13. Kerala 9-20-14. Madhya Pradesh 11-29-15. Maharashtra 19-48-16. Manipur 1st February 2017. Meghalaya 1st February 2018. Mizoram 1st January 2019. Nagaland 1st January 1920. Odisha 10-21-21.
Durations of the Lok Sabha.
From first Lok Sabha to present Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha duration remarks. First 195 to 1957 dissolved 38 days before expiry of its term. Second 1957 1962 dissolved 40 days before expiry of its term. Third 196 to 1967 dissolved 44 days before expiry of its term. Fourth 1967 1970 dissolved 1 year and 79 days before expiry of its term. Fifth 1971 1977 term of the Lok Sabha was extended 2 times by 1 year at a time. However, the House was dissolved after having been in existence for a period of 5 years, 10 months and 6 days. Sixth 1977 1979 dissolved after having been in existence for a period of 2 years. 4 months and 28 days. 7th 1980 1984 dissolved 20 days before expiry of its term. 8th 1985 1989 dissolved 48 days before expiry of its term. 9th 1989 1991 dissolved after having been in existence for a period of 1 year, 2 months and 25 days. 10th 1991 1996. 11th 1996 1997 dissolved after having been in existence for a period of 1 year, 6 months and 13 days. 1998 dissolved after having been in existence for a
12th 1999 period of 1 year,
1 month and 4 days. 13th 1999-2004 dissolved 253 days before expiry of its term. 14th 2004-2009, 15th 2009-2014, 16th 2014 continuing. Table 22.8 Speakers of the Lok Sabha, from first Lok Sabha to present Lok Sabha name tenure, remarks, first one. Ganesh Vasudev Malankar 1952-1956, died, 2. Ananta Sarinam Iyengar 1956-1957 second Ananta Sarinam Iyengar 1957-1962 third Hukum Singh 1962-1967 fourth one. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy 1967-1969, resigned, 2. Godial Singh Dhillon 1969-1971 fifth one. Godial Singh Dhillon 1971-1975, resigned, 2. Bali Ram Bhagat 1976-1977 sixth one. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy 1977-1977, resigned, 2. K.S. Hegde 1977-1987 Balram Jaffar 1980-1985 8 Balram Jaffar 1985-1989 9th Ravi Ray 1989-1991 10th Shivraj Patel 1991-1996 11th P.A. Sangama 1996-1998 12th GMC Balayugi 1998-1999 13th 1. GMC Balayugi 1999-2002, died, 2. Manohar Joshi 2002-2004 14th Somnath Chatterjee 2004-2009 15th Ms. Meera Kumar 2009-2014 16th Ms. Sumitra Mahajan 2014 till date table 22.9 articles related to Parliament at a glance article no. Subject matter general 79. Constitution of Parliament 80. Composition of the Council of States 81. Composition of the House of the People 82. Readjustment after each census 83. Duration of Houses of Parliament 84. Qualification for membership of Parliament 85. Sessions of Parliament, prorogation and dissolution 86. Right of President to address and send messages to Houses 87. Special address by the President 88. Rights of Ministers and Attorney General as respects Houses officers of Parliament 89. The Chairman and Deputy Chairman of the Council of States.
90 Vacation and resignation of
and removal from the office of Deputy Chairman 91. Power of the Deputy Chairman or other person to perform the duties of the office of, or to act as, Chairman 92. The Chairman or the Deputy Chairman not to preside while a resolution for his removal from office is under consideration 93. The Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of the People 94. Vacation and resignation of, and removal from, the offices of Speaker and Deputy Speaker 95. Power of the Deputy Speaker or other person to perform the duties of the office of, or to act as, Speaker 96. The Speaker or the Deputy Speaker not to preside while a resolution for his removal from office is under consideration 97. Salaries and allowances of the Chairman and Deputy Chairman and the Speaker and Deputy Speaker 98. Secretariat of Parliament Conduct of Business 99. Oath or affirmation by members 100. Voting in Houses. Power of Houses to act notwithstanding vacancies and quorum disqualifications of members 101. Vacation of seats 102. Disqualifications for membership 103. Decision on questions as to disqualifications of members 104. Penalty for sitting and voting before making oath or affirmation under Article 99 or when not qualified or when disqualified. Powers, privileges and immunities of Parliament and its members.
105 powers, privileges,
etc. of the Houses of Parliament and of the members and committees thereof 106. Salaries and allowances of members. Legislative Procedure 107. Provisions as to introduction and passing of bills. 108. Joint sitting of both houses in certain cases. 109. Special procedure in respect of money bills. 110. Definition of money bills. 111. Assent to bills. Procedures in financial matters. 112. Annual financial statement. 113. 114. Procedure in Parliament with respect to estimates. Appropriation bills. 115. Supplementary, additional or excess grants. 116. Votes on account, votes of credit and exceptional grants. 117. Special provisions as to financial bills. Procedure generally. 118. Rules of procedure. 119. Regulations by law of procedure in Parliament in relation to financial business. 120. Language to be used in Parliament. 121. Restriction on discussion in Parliament. 122. Courts not to inquire into proceedings of Parliament. Legislative powers of the President. Power of President to promulgate ordinances during recess of 123 Parliament 2. Federal system of government. India has a federal system of government with a constitutional division of powers between the Union and the states. Both have to operate within the spheres allotted to them. Hence, the lawmaking authority of the Parliament gets confined to the subjects enumerated in the Union list and concurrent list and does not extend to the subjects enumerated in the state list, except in 5 abnormal circumstances, and that too for a short period. Britain, on the other hand, has a unitary system of government and hence, all the powers are vested in the centre. 3. System of judicial review. The adoption of an independent judiciary with the power of judicial review also restricts the supremacy of our Parliament. Both the Supreme Court and High Courts can declare the laws enacted by the Parliament as void and ultra vires, unconstitutional, if they contravene any provision of the Constitution. On the other hand, there is no system of judicial review in Britain. The British courts have to apply the parliamentary laws to specific cases, without examining their constitutionality, legality or reasonableness. For fundamental rights, the authority of the Parliament is also restricted by the incorporation of a code of justiciable fundamental rights under Part 3 of the Constitution. Article 13 prohibits the state from making a law that either takes away totally or abrogates in part a fundamental right. Hence, a parliamentary law that contravenes the fundamental rights shall be void. In Britain, on the other hand, there is no codification of justiciable fundamental rights in the Constitution. The British Parliament has also not made any law that lays down the fundamental rights of the citizens. However, it does not mean that the British citizens do not have rights. Though there is no charter guaranteeing rights, there is maximum liberty in Britain due to the existence of the rule of law. Therefore, even though the nomenclature and organizational pattern of our Parliament is similar to that of the British Parliament, there is a substantial difference between the two. The Indian Parliament is not a sovereign body in the sense in which the British Parliament is a sovereign body. Unlike the British Parliament, the authority and jurisdiction of the Indian Parliament are defined, limited and restrained. In this regard, the Indian Parliament is similar to the American legislature, known as Congress. In USA also, the sovereignty of Congress is legally restricted by the written character of the Constitution, the federal system of government, the system of judicial review and the Bill of Rights. Notes and references. 1. Westminster is a place in London where the British Parliament is located. It is often used as a symbol of the British Parliament. 2. See Table 22.5 at the end of this chapter. 3. An Anglo-Indian is a person whose father or any of whose other male progenitors in the male line is or was of European descent but who is domiciled within the territory of India and is or was born within such territory of parents habitually resident therein and not merely established there for temporary purposes. 4. See Table 22.5 at the end of this chapter. 5. This means that the number of Lok Sabha seats reserved in a state or union territory for such castes and tribes is to bear the same proportion to the total number of seats allotted to that state or union territory in the Lok Sabha as the population of such castes and tribes in the concerned state or union territory bears to the total population of state or union territory. 6. Under this, the President has made the Rajya Sabha, term of office of members, Order, 1952. 7. The term of the 5th Lok Sabha that was to expire on 18 March 1976, was extended by 1 year up to 18 March 1977 by the House of the People, Extension of Duration, Act, 1976. It was extended for a further period of 1 year up to 18 March 1978 by the House of the People, Extension of Duration, Amendment Act, 1976. However, the House was dissolved on 18 January 1977, after having been in existence for a period of 5 years, 10 months and 6 days.
8. The minister in the union
or state government is not considered as holding the office of profit. Also, the Parliament can declare that a particular office of profit will not disqualify its holder from parliamentary membership. 9. According to the prohibition of simultaneous membership rules, 1950, made by the President. 9a Section 3 of the Salaries and Allowances of Officers of Parliament Act, 1953, as amended. 9b Ibid 9c. Ibid 9a. Ibid 9e. Section 5 of the Salaries and Allowances of Officers of Parliament Act, 1953, as amended. 9f Ibid 10. Kihota Holohan vs. Zachailu, 1992. 11. In this context, Giri observed, the holder of an office provided with such extensive authority and power must discharge the duties of his office impartially. So impartiality is regarded as an indispensable condition of the office of the Speaker, who is the guardian of the powers and privileges of the House and not of the political party with whose support he might have been elected to the office. It is not possible for him to maintain order in the House unless he enjoys the confidence of the minority parties by safeguarding their rights and privileges. Powers of the presiding officers in Indian Legislature, in Journal of Constitutional and Parliamentary Studies, New Delhi, Vol. 2, No. 4 October to December 1968, p. 22, 12. For example, in the 13th Lok Sabha, Mr. Indrajit Gupta was appointed as Speaker pro tem on 20th October 1999 and remained in that office till 22nd October 1999 when the new Speaker, Mr. GMC Balayudi, was elected. 13. Under Article 107, 3, of the Constitution, a bill pending in Parliament shall not lapse by reason of the prorogation of the Houses. Under Rule 336 of the Lok Sabha, a motion, resolution or an amendment, which has been moved and is pending in the House, shall not lapse by reason only of the prorogation of the House. 14. Subhash C. Kashyap, Our Parliament, National Book Trust, 1999 edition, p. 135136. 15. J. C. Johari, Indian Government and Politics, Vishal, Volume 2, 13th edition, 2001, p. 360.
16. Subhash C. Kashyap,
Our Parliament, National Book Trust, 1999 edition, p. 139141. 17. Ibid, p. 139. 8. Under Rule 64 of Lok Sabha, the Speaker may, on request being made to him, order the publication of any bill in the Gazette, although no motion has been made for leave to introduce the bill. In that case, it shall not be necessary to move for leave to introduce the bill, and if the bill is afterwards introduced, it shall not be necessary to publish it again. 19. For different kinds of veto, see, veto power of the President, under Chapter 17. 20. The Lok Sabha did not agree to the amendments made by the Rajya Sabha. A joint sitting was held on 6 May 1961. 21. The bill was passed by the Lok Sabha but rejected by the Rajya Sabha. A joint sitting was held on 16 May 1978. 22. The bill was passed by the Lok Sabha but rejected by the Rajya Sabha. A joint sitting was held on 26 March 2002. The bill was passed when 425 members voted for it and 296 against. 23. N. Malia, Indian Parliament, p. 39. 24. Keswananda Bharti v. State of Kerala, 1973, Minerva Mills v. Union of India, 1980. 25. In 1977, the 6th Lok Sabha expelled Mrs. Indira Gandhi from its membership and sentenced her to jail for a week for committing a contempt of House while she was Prime Minister. But the 7th Lok Sabha rescinded the resolution expelling her by describing it as politically motivated. In 1990, a former minister, K.K. Tiwari, was reprimanded by the Rajya Sabha. 26. Article 121 of the Constitution says that no discussion shall take place in Parliament with respect to the conduct of any judge of the Supreme Court or of a High Court in the discharge of his duties except upon a motion for presenting an address to the President praying for the removal of the judge. Under Rules 349 to 350 of the Lok Sabha, use of unparliamentary language or unparliamentary conduct of a member is prohibited. 27. Call and Charter, Practice and Procedure of Parliament, 1st edition, p. 157. 28. Thomas Erskine May, Parliamentary Practice, 15th edition, p. 109. 29. Subhash C. Kashyap, Our Parliament, National Book Trust, 1999.
Edition,
p. 241. 30. Thomas Erskine May, Parliamentary Practice, 16th edition, p. 43. 31. The then Law Minister gave the following reason for dropping reference to the British House of Commons, that the original provision, there was no escape from it, had referred to the British House of Commons. Now a proud country like India would like to avoid making any reference to a foreign institution in its own solemn constitutional document. Therefore, this verbal change is being introduced so that there may not be any reference to a foreign institution. 32. A. V. Dicey, Introduction to the Study of the Law of the Constitution, Macmillan, 1965 edition, p. 3940.
Parliamentary committees
meaning the Parliament is too unwieldy a body to deliberate effectively the issues that come up before it. The functions of the Parliament are varied, complex and voluminous. Moreover, it has neither the adequate time nor necessary expertise to make a detailed scrutiny of all legislative measures and other matters. Therefore, it is assisted by a number of committees in the discharge of its duties. The Constitution of India makes a mention of these committees at different places, but without making any specific provisions regarding their composition, tenure, functions, etc. All these matters are dealt by the rules of two houses. Accordingly, a parliamentary committee means a committee that, 1. Is appointed or elected by the House or nominated by the Speaker Chairman 1. 2. Works under the direction of the Speaker Chairman 3. Presents its report to the House or to the Speaker Chairman 4. Has a secretariat provided by the Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha. The consultative committees, which also consist of members of Parliament, are not parliamentary committees as they do not fulfill above 4 conditions. 2.
Classification broadly.
Parliamentary committees are of two kinds: standing committees and ad hoc committees. The former are permanent, constituted every year or periodically, and work on a continuous basis, while the latter are temporary and cease to exist on completion of the tasks assigned to them. Standing committees on the basis of the nature of functions performed by them. Standing committees can be classified into the following 6 categories. 1. Financial committees. A. Public Accounts Committee. B. Estimates Committee. C. Committee on Public Undertakings. 2. Departmental Standing Committees. 24. 3. Committees to Inquire. A. Committee on Petitions. B. Committee of Privileges. C. Ethics Committee. 4. Committees to Scrutinize and Control. A. Committee on Government Assurances. B. Committee on Subordinate Legislation. C. Committee on Papers Laid on the Table. D. Committee on Welfare of SCs and STs. E. Committee on Empowerment of Women. F. Joint Committee 3 on Offices of Profit. 5. Committees relating to the day-to-day business of the House. A. Business Advisory Committee.
B. Committee on Private Members' Bills and Resolutions.
C. Rules Committee. D. Committee on Absence of Members from Sittings of the House. 6. Housekeeping Committees or Service Committees, i.e., committees concerned with the provision of facilities and services to members. A. General Purposes Committee. B. House Committee. C. Library Committee. D. Joint Committee on Salaries and Allowances of Members. Ad hoc committees. Ad hoc committees can be divided into two categories, that is, inquiry committees and advisory committees. 1. Inquiry committees are constituted from time to time, either by the two houses on a motion adopted in that behalf, or by the Speaker Chairman, to inquire into and report on specific subjects. For example, A. Committee on the conduct of certain members during President's address. B. Committee on Draft 5-year Plan. C. Railway Convention Committee. 4. D. Committee on Members of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme, MPLADS. E. Joint Committee on Bofors Contract. F. Joint Committee on Fertilizer Pricing. G. Joint Committee to inquire into irregularities in securities and banking transactions. H. Joint Committee on Stock Market Scam. I. Joint Committee on Security in Parliament Complex. J. Committee on Provision of Computers to Members of Parliament, Offices of Political Parties and Officers of the Lok Sabha Secretariat. K. Committee on Food Management in Parliament House Complex. L. Committee on Installation of Portraits, Statues of National Leaders
and Parliamentarians in
Parliament House Complex. M. Joint Committee on Maintenance of Heritage Character and Development of Parliament House Complex. N. Committee on Violation of Protocol Norms and Contemptuous Behavior of Government Officers with Members of Lok Sabha. O. Joint Committee to examine matters relating to allocation and pricing of telecom licenses and spectrum. 2. Advisory committees include select or joint committees on bills, which are appointed to consider and report on particular bills. These committees are distinguishable from the other ad hoc committees in as much as they are concerned with bills and the procedure to be followed by them is laid down in the rules of procedure and the directions by the Speaker Chairman. When a bill comes up before a House for general discussion, it is open to that House to refer it to a select committee of the House or a joint committee of the two Houses. A motion to this effect has to be moved and adopted in the House in which the bill comes up for consideration. In case the motion adopted is for reference of the bill to a joint committee, the decision is conveyed to the other House, requesting the members to nominate members of the other House to serve on the committee. The select or joint committee considers the bill clause by clause just as the two Houses do. Amendments to various clauses can be moved by members of the committee. The committee can also take evidence of associations, public bodies or experts who are interested in the bill. After the bill has thus been considered, the committee submits its report to the House. Members who do not agree with the majority report may append their minutes of dissent to the report. Financial Committees Public Accounts Committee. This committee was set up first in 1921 under the provisions of the Government of India Act of 1919 and has since been in existence. At present, it consists of 22 members, 15 from the Lok Sabha and 7 from the Rajya
Sabha. The
members are elected by the Parliament every year from amongst its members according to the principle of proportional representation by means of the single transferable vote. Thus, all parties get due representation in it.
The term of office of the members is 1 year.
A minister cannot be elected as a member of the committee. The chairman of the committee is appointed from amongst its members by the Speaker. Until 1966-67, the chairman of the committee belonged to the ruling party. However, since 1967 a convention has developed whereby the chairman of the committee is selected invariably from the opposition. The function of the committee is to examine the annual audit reports of the Controller and Auditor General of India, CAN, which are laid before the Parliament by the President. The CAG submits 3 audit reports to the President, namely, Audit Report on Appropriation Accounts, Audit Report on Finance Accounts and Audit Report on Public Undertakings. The committee examines public expenditure not only from legal and formal point of view to discover technical irregularities but also from the point of view of economy, prudence, wisdom and propriety to bring out the cases of waste, loss, corruption, extravagance, inefficiency and nugatory expenses. In more detail, the functions of the committee are: 1. To examine the appropriation accounts and the finance accounts of the Union government and any other accounts laid before the Lok Sabha. The appropriation accounts compare the actual expenditure with the expenditure sanctioned by the Parliament through the Appropriation Act, while the finance accounts shows the annual receipts and disbursements of the Union government. 2. In scrutinizing the appropriation accounts and the audit report of CAG on it, the committee has to satisfy itself that the money that has been disbursed was legally available for the applied service or purpose. B. The expenditure conforms to the authority that governs it. C. Every reappropriation has been made in accordance with the related rules. 3. To examine the accounts of state corporations, trading concerns and manufacturing projects and the audit report of CAG on them, except
those public undertakings which
are allotted to the Committee on Public Undertakings. 4. To examine the accounts of autonomous and semi-autonomous bodies, the audit of which is conducted by the CAG. 5. To consider the report of the CAG relating to the audit of any receipt or to examine the accounts of stores and stocks. 6. To examine the money spent on any service during a financial year in excess of the amount granted by the Lok Sabha for that purpose in the fulfillment of the above functions. The committee is assisted by the CAG. In fact, the CAG acts as a guide, friend and philosopher of the committee. On the role played by the committee, Ashok Chanda, who himself has been a CAG of India, observed, over a period of years, the committee has entirely fulfilled the expectation that it should develop into a powerful force in the control of public expenditure. It may be claimed that the traditions established and conventions developed by the Public Accounts Committee conform to the highest traditions of a parliamentary democracy. 5. However, the effectiveness of the role of the committee is limited by the following. A. It is not concerned with the questions of policy in broader sense. B. It conducts a post-mortem examination of accounts, showing the expenditure already incurred. C. It cannot intervene in the matters of day-to-day administration. D. Its recommendations are advisory and not binding on the ministries. E. It is not vested with the power of disallowance of expenditures by the departments. F. It is not an executive body and hence, cannot issue an order. Only the Parliament can take a final decision on its findings. Estimates Committee. The origin of this committee can be traced to the Standing Financial Committee set up in 1921. The first Estimates Committee in the post-independence era was constituted in 1950 on the recommendation of John Mathai, the then Finance Minister. Originally, it had 25 members but in 1956, its membership was raised to 30. All the 30 members are from Lok Sabha only. The Rajya Sabha has no representation in this committee. These members are elected by the Lok Sabha every year from amongst its own members, according to the principles of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. Thus, all parties get due representation in it. The term of office is 1 year. A minister cannot be elected as a member of the committee. The chairman of the committee is appointed by the speaker from amongst its members and he is invariably from the ruling party. The function of the committee is to examine the estimates included in the budget and suggest economies in public expenditure. Hence, it has been described as a continuous economy committee. In more detail, the functions of the committee are: 1. To report what economies, improvements in organization, efficiency and administrative reform consistent with the policy underlying the estimates can be effected. 2. To suggest alternative policies in order to bring about efficiency and economy in administration. 3. To examine whether the money is well laid out within the limits of the policy implied in the estimates. 4. To suggest the fourth in which the estimates are to be presented to Parliament, the committee shall not exercise its functions in relation to such public undertakings as are allotted to the Committee on Public Undertakings. The committee may continue the examination of the estimates from time to time, throughout the financial year, and report to the House as its examination proceeds. It shall not be incumbent on the committee to examine the entire estimates of any one year. The demands for grants may be finally voted despite the fact that the committee has made no report. However, the effectiveness of the role of the committee is limited by the following: A. It examines the budget estimates only after they have been voted by the Parliament, and not before that. B. It cannot question the policy laid down by the Parliament. C. Its recommendations are advisory and not binding on the ministries. D. It examines every year only certain selected ministries and departments. Thus, by rotation, it would cover all of them over a number of years. E. It lacks the expert assistance of the CAG which is available to the Public Accounts Committee. F. Its work is in the nature of a post-mortem. Committee on Public Undertakings. This committee was created in 1964 on the recommendation of the Krishna Menon Committee. Originally, it had 15 members, 10 from the Lok Sabha and 5 from the Rajya Sabha. However, in 1974, its membership was raised to 22, 15 from the Lok Sabha and 7 from the Rajya Sabha. The members of this committee are elected by the Parliament every year from amongst its own members according to the principle of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. Thus, all parties get due representation in it. The term of office of the members is 1 year. A minister cannot be elected as a member of the committee. The chairman of the committee is appointed by the Speaker from amongst its members who are drawn from the Lok Sabha only. Thus, the members of the committee who are from the Rajya Sabha cannot be appointed as the chairman. The functions of the committee are: 1. To examine the reports and accounts of public undertakings. 2. To examine the reports of the Controller and Auditor General on public undertakings. 3. To examine, in the context of autonomy and efficiency of public undertakings, whether the affairs of the public undertakings are being managed in accordance with sound business principles and prudent commercial practices. 4. To exercise such other functions vested in the Public Accounts Committee and the Estimates Committee in relation to public undertakings which are allotted to it by the Speaker from time to time. The committee is not to examine and investigate any of the following: I. Matters of major government policy as distinct from business or commercial functions of the public undertakings. 2. Matters of day-to-day administration. 3. Matters for the consideration of which machinery is established by any special statute under which a particular public undertaking is established. Further, the effectiveness of the role of the committee is limited by the following: A. It cannot take up the examination of more than 10 to 12 public undertakings in a year. B. Its work is in the nature of a post-mortem. C. It does not look into technical matters as its members are not technical experts. D. Its recommendations are advisory and not binding on the ministries. Departmental Standing Committees. On the recommendation of the Rules Committee of the Lok Sabha, 17 departmentally related standing committees, DRSCs, were set up in the Parliament in 1993.6 in 2004. 7 more such committees were set up, thus increasing their number from 17 to 24. The main objective of the standing committees is to secure more accountability of the executive, i.e., the Council of Ministers, to the Parliament, particularly financial accountability. They also assist the Parliament in debating the budget more effectively. 7. The 24 standing committees cover under their jurisdiction all the ministries, departments of the central government. Each standing committee consists of 31 members, 21 from Lok Sabha and 10 from Rajya Sabha. The members of the Lok Sabha are nominated by the Speaker from amongst its own members, just as the members of the Rajya Sabha are nominated by the chairman from amongst its members. 8. The minister is not eligible to be nominated as a member of any of the standing committees. In case the member, after his nomination to any of the standing committees, is appointed a minister, he then ceases to be a member of the committee. The term of office of each standing committee is 1 year from the date of its constitution. Out of the 24 standing committees, 8 work under the Rajya Sabha and 16 under the Lok Sabha. 9 the 24 standing committees and the ministries departments placed under their jurisdiction are shown below in Table 23.1. Table 23.1 Departmental Standing Committees SL No. Name of the committees ministries departments covered I committees under Rajya Sabha 1. Committee on Commerce and Industry 2.
Committee on Home Affairs
1. Home Affairs 2. Development of North Eastern Region 3. Committee on Human Resource Development 1. Human Resource Development 2. Youth Affairs and Sports 4. Committee on Industry 1. Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises 2. Small Scale Industries 3. Agro and Rural Industries 5. Committee on Science and Technology, Environment and Forests 1. Science and Technology 2. Space 3. Earth Sciences 4. Atomic Energy 5. Environment and Forests 6. Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture 1. Civil Aviation
2. Shipping,
Road Transport and Highways 3. Culture 4. Tourism 7. Committee on Health and Family Welfare 8. Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice 1. Law and Justice 2. Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions 2. Committees under Lok Sabha 9. Committee on Agriculture 1. Agriculture 2. Food Processing Industries 10. Committee on Information Technology 1. Communications and Information Technology 2. Information and Broadcasting 11. Committee on Defense 12. Committee on Energy 1. New and Renewable Energy 2. Power 13. Committee on External Affairs 1. External Affairs 2. Non-Resident Indians Affairs 14. Committee on Finance 1. Finance 2. Company Affairs
3. Planning
4. Statistics and Program Implementation 15. Committee on Food, Consumer Affairs and Public Distribution Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution 16. Committee on Labor 1. Labor and Employment 2. Textiles 17. Committee on Petroleum and Natural Gas 18. Committee on Railways 19. Committee on Urban Development 1. Urban Development 2. Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation 20. Committee on Water Resources 21. Committee on Chemicals and Fertilizers 22. Committee on Rural Development 1. Rural Development 2. Panchayati Raj 23. Committee on Coal and Steel 1. Coal and Mines 2. Steel 24. Committee on Social Justice and Empowerment 1. Social Justice and Empowerment 2. Tribal Affairs. The functions of each of the standing committees are 1. To consider the demands for grants of the concerned ministries' departments before they are discussed and voted in the Lok Sabha. Its report should not suggest anything of the nature of cut motions. 2. To examine bills pertaining to the concerned ministries' departments. 3. To consider annual reports of ministries' departments. 4. To consider national basic long-term policy documents presented to the Houses. The following limitations are imposed on the functioning of these standing committees. I. They should not consider the matters of day-to-day administration of the concerned ministries' departments. 2. They should not generally consider the matters which are considered by other parliamentary committees. It should be noted here that the recommendations of these committees are advisory in nature and hence not binding on the Parliament. The following procedure shall be followed by each of the standing committees in their consideration of the demands for grants, and making a report thereon to the Houses. A. After general discussion on the budget in the Houses is over, the Houses shall be adjourned for a fixed period. B. The committees shall consider the demands for grants of the concerned ministries during the aforesaid period. C. The committees shall make their report within the period and shall not ask for more time. D. The demands for grants shall be considered by the House in the light of the reports of the committees. E. There shall be a separate report on the demands for grants of each ministry. The following procedure shall be followed by each of the standing committees in examining the bills and making report thereon. A. The committee shall consider the general principles and clauses of bills referred to it. B. The committee shall consider only such bills as introduced in either of the houses and referred to it. C. The committee shall make report on bills in a given time. The merits of the standing committee system in the Parliament are: 1. Their proceedings are devoid of any party bias. 2. The procedure adopted by them is more flexible than in the Lok Sabha. 3. The system makes parliamentary control over executive much more detailed, close, continuous, in-depth and comprehensive. 4. The system ensures economy and efficiency in public expenditure, as the ministries' departments would now be more careful in formulating their demands. 5. They facilitate opportunities to all the members of Parliament to participate and understand the functioning of the government and contribute to it. 6. They can avail of expert opinion or public opinion to make the reports. They are authorized to invite experts and eminent persons to testify before them and incorporate their opinions in their reports. 7. The opposition parties and the Rajya Sabha can now play a greater role in exercising financial control over the executive. Committees to Inquire Committee on Petitions. This committee examines petitions on bills and on matters of general public importance. It also entertains representations from individuals and associations on matters pertaining to union subjects. The Lok Sabha committee consists of 15 members, while the Rajya Sabha committee consists of 10 members. Committee of Privileges. The functions of this committee are semi-judicial in nature. It examines the cases of breach of privileges of the House and its members and recommends appropriate action. The Lok Sabha committee has 15 members, while the Rajya Sabha committee has 10 members. Ethics Committee. This committee was constituted in Rajya Sabha in 1997 and in Lok Sabha in 2000. It enforces the code of conduct of members of Parliament. It examines the cases of misconduct and recommends appropriate action. Thus, it is engaged in maintaining discipline and decorum in Parliament. Committees to Scrutinize and Control. Committee on Government Assurances. This committee examines the assurances, promises and undertakings given by ministers from time to time on the floor of the House and reports on the extent to which they have been carried through. In the Lok Sabha, it consists of 15 members, and in the Rajya Sabha, it consists of 10 members. It was constituted in 1953. Committee on Subordinate Legislation. This committee examines and reports to the House whether the powers to make regulations, rules, sub-rules and bylaws delegated by the Parliament or conferred by the Constitution to the Executive are being properly exercised by it. In both the Houses, the committee consists of 15 members. It was constituted in 1953. Committee on Papers laid on the table. This committee was constituted in 1975. The Lok Sabha committee has 15 members, while the Rajya Sabha committee has 10 members. It examines all papers laid on the table of the House by ministers to see whether they comply with provisions of the Constitution, or the related act or rule. It does not examine statutory notifications and orders that fall under the jurisdiction of the Committee on Subordinate Legislation. Committee on Welfare of SCs and STs. This committee consists of 30 members, 20 from Lok Sabha and 10 from Rajya Sabha. Its functions are: I. To consider the reports of the National Commission for the SCs and the National Commission for the STs. 2. To examine all matters relating to the welfare of SCs and STs, like implementation of constitutional and statutory safeguards, working of welfare programs, etc. Committee on Empowerment of Women. This committee was constituted in 1997 and consists of 30 members, 20 from Lok Sabha and 10 from Rajya Sabha. It considers the reports of the National Commission for Women and examines the measures taken by the Union government to secure status, dignity and equality for women in all fields. Joint Committee on Offices of Profit. This committee examines the composition and character of committees and other bodies appointed by the central, state and union territory governments and recommends whether persons holding these offices should be disqualified from being elected as members of parliament or not. It consists of 15 members, 10 from Lok Sabha and 5 from Rajya Sabha. Committees relating to the day-to-day business of the House. Business Advisory Committee. This committee regulates the program and timetable of the House. It allocates time for the transaction of legislative and other business brought before the House by the government. The Lok Sabha Committee consists of 15 members including the Speaker as its chairman. In the Rajya Sabha, it has 11 members including the chairman as its ex-officio chairman. Committee on Private Members' Bills and Resolutions. This committee classifies bills and allocates time for the discussion on bills and resolutions introduced by private members, other than ministers. This is a special committee of the Lok Sabha and consists of 15 members including the Deputy Speaker as its chairman. The Rajya Sabha does not have any such committee. The same function in the Rajya Sabha is performed by the Business Advisory Committee of that House. Rules Committee.
This committee considers the matters of
procedure and conduct of business in the House and recommends necessary amendments or additions to the rules of the House. The Lok Sabha Committee consists of 15 members including the Speaker as its ex-officio chairman. In the Rajya Sabha, it consists of 16 members including the chairman as its ex-officio chairman. Committee on Absence of Members. This committee considers all applications from members for leave of absence from the sittings of the House, and examines the cases of members who have been absent for a period of 60 days or more without permission. It is a special committee of the Lok Sabha and consists of 15 members. There is no such committee in the Rajya Sabha and all such matters are dealt by the House itself. Housekeeping Committees. General Purposes Committee. This committee considers and advises on matters concerning affairs of the House, which do not fall within the jurisdiction of any other parliamentary committee. In each House, this committee consists of the presiding officer, Speaker Chairman, as its ex-officio chairman, Deputy Speaker, Deputy Chairman in the case of Rajya Sabha, members of panel of chairpersons, panel of vice chairpersons in the case of Rajya Sabha, chairpersons of all the departmental standing committees of the House, leaders of recognized parties and groups in the House and such other members as nominated by the presiding officer. House Committee. This committee deals with residential accommodation of members and other amenities like food, medical aid, etc., accorded to them in their houses and hostels in Delhi. Both the houses have their respective House committees. In the Lok Sabha, it consists of 12 members. Library Committee. This committee considers all matters relating to the library of the Parliament and assists the members in utilizing the library's services. It consists of 9 members, 6 from Lok Sabha and 3 from Rajya Sabha. Joint Committee on Salaries and Allowances of Members. This committee was constituted under the Salary, Allowances and Pension of Members of Parliament Act, 1954. It consists of 15 members, 10 from Lok Sabha and 5 from Rajya Sabha. It frames rules for regulating payment of salary, allowances and pension to members of Parliament. Consultative Committees. Consultative committees are attached to various ministries, departments of the central government. They consist of members of both the Houses of Parliament. The Minister of State in charge of the ministry concerned acts as the chairman of the Consultative Committee of that ministry. These committees provide a forum for informal discussions between the ministers and the members of Parliament on policies and programs of the government and the manner of their implementation. These committees are constituted by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. The guidelines regarding the composition, functions and procedures of these committees are formulated by this ministry. The ministry also makes arrangements for holding their meetings both during the session and the inter-session period of Parliament. The membership of these committees is voluntary and is left to the choice of the members and the leaders of their parties. The maximum membership of a committee is 30 and the minimum is 10. These committees are normally constituted after the new Lok Sabha is constituted, after general elections for the Lok Sabha. In other words, These committees shall stand dissolved upon dissolution of every Lok Sabha and shall be reconstituted upon constitution of each Lok Sabha 10. In addition, separate informal consultative committees of the members of Parliament are also constituted for all the railway zones. Members of Parliament belonging to the area falling under a particular railway zone are
nominated on the
informal consultative committee of that railway zone. Unlike the consultative committees attached to various ministries' departments, the meetings of the informal consultative committees are to be arranged during the session periods only. Notes and references 1. A minister is not eligible for election or nomination to the financial committees, departmental standing committees, and committees on empowerment of women, government assurances, petitions, subordinate legislation and welfare of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. 2 consultative committees are explained at the end of this chapter. 3. A joint committee consists of members of both the Houses of Parliament. 4. The Railway Convention Committee, 1949 was the first committee after independence. This committee and subsequent committees confined themselves to determining the rate of dividend payable by the railways to general revenues. Since 1971, the Railway Convention Committees have been taking up subjects which have a bearing on the working of the railways and railway finances. 5. Ashok Chanda, Indian Administration, George Allen and Unwin Ltd, London, 1967, p. 180. 6. In 1989, 3 standing committees were constituted which dealt with agriculture, science and technology and environment and forests. In 1993, they were superseded by the departmentally related standing committees, DRSCs. 7. While inaugurating the standing committee system in the Central Hall of Parliament on 31 March 1993, the then Vice President of India and the Chairman of Rajya Sabha, K.R. Narayanan, observed that the main purpose of these committees is to ensure the accountability of government to Parliament through more detailed consideration of measures in these committees. The intention is not to weaken or criticize the administration but to strengthen it by investing it with more meaningful parliamentary support. 8 till 13th Lok Sabha, each standing committee consisted of not more than 45 members, 30 to be nominated by the Speaker from amongst the members of Lok Sabha and 15 to be nominated by the Chairman from amongst the members of Rajya Sabha. However, with restructuring of DRSCs in July 2004, each DRSC consists of 31 members, 21 from Lok Sabha and 10 from Rajya Sabha. 9. The procedure regarding constitution and functioning of DRSCs, serviced by Lok Sabha, has been enumerated in Rules 331C to 331Q of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Lok Sabha. Rules 268 to 277 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Rajya Sabha govern DRSCs serviced by Rajya Sabha. 10. After the constitution of the 16th Lok Sabha, 35 consultative committees were constituted in 2014. Parliamentary Forums, establishment of forums. The first Parliamentary Forum on Water Conservation and Management was constituted in the year 2005. Subsequently, 7 more Parliamentary Forums were constituted. At present, there are 8 Parliamentary Forums. 1. Parliamentary Forum on Water Conservation and Management, 2005. 2. Parliamentary Forum on Youth, 2006. 3. Parliamentary Forum on Children, 2006. 4. Parliamentary Forum on Population and Public Health, 2006. 5. Parliamentary Forum on Global Warming and Climate Change, 2008. 6. Parliamentary Forum on Disaster Management, 2011. 7. Parliamentary Forum on Artisans and Craftspeople, 2013. 8. Parliamentary Forum on Millennium Development Goals, 2013. Objectives of the forums. The objectives behind the constitution of the Parliamentary Forums are I. To provide a platform to the members to have interactions with the ministers concerned. experts and key officials from the nodal ministries with a view to have a focused and meaningful discussion on critical issues with a result-oriented approach for speeding up the implementation.
Process 2. To sensitize members about the key areas of concern
and also about the ground-level situation and equip them with the latest information, knowledge, technical know-how and valuable inputs from experts both from the country and abroad for enabling them to raise these issues effectively on the floor of the House and in the meetings of the departmentally related standing committees, DRSCs, and 3. To prepare a database through collection of data on critical issues from ministries concerned, reliable NGOs, newspapers, United Nations, Internet, etc. and circulation thereof to the members so that they can meaningfully participate in the discussions of the forums and seek clarifications from experts or officials from the ministry present in the meetings. It has been mandated that the parliamentary fora will not interfere with or encroach upon the jurisdiction of the departmentally related standing committees of the ministry department concerned. Composition of the forums. The Speaker of Lok Sabha is the ex-officio president of all the forums except the Parliamentary Forum on Population and Public Health, wherein the Chairman of Rajya Sabha is the ex-officio president and the Speaker is the ex-officio co-president. The Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, the Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, the concerned ministers and the Chairman of departmentally related standing committees are the ex-officio vice presidents of the respective forums. Each forum consists of not more than 31 members, excluding the president, co-president and vice presidents, out of whom not more than 21 are from the Lok Sabha and not more than 10 are from the Rajya Sabha. Members, other than the president, co-president and vice presidents, of these forums are nominated by the Speaker Chairman from amongst the leaders of various political parties, groups or their nominees, who have special knowledge, keen interest in the subject. 3. The duration of the office of members of the forum is coterminous with their membership in the respective houses. A member may also resign from the forum by writing to the Speaker Chairman. The President of the Forum appoints a member convener for each forum to conduct regular, approved programmed meetings of the forum in consultation with the President. The meetings of the forums are held from time to time, as may be necessary, during Parliament sessions. Functions of the forums. Parliamentary Forum on Water Conservation and Management. The functions of the forum are: 1. To identify problems relating to water and make suggestions, recommendations for consideration and appropriate action by government organizations concerned. 2. To identify the ways of involving members of Parliament in conservation and augmentation of water resources in their respective states' constituencies. 3. To organize seminars, workshops to create awareness for conservation and efficient management of water. 4. To undertake such other related tasks as it may deem fit. Parliamentary Forum on Youth. The functions of this forum are: 1. To have focused deliberations on strategies to leverage human capital in the youth for accelerating development initiatives. 2. To build greater awareness amongst public leaders and at the grassroots level of the potential of youth for effecting socio-economic change. 3. To interact on a regular basis with youth representatives and leaders, in order to better appreciate their hopes, aspirations, concerns and problems. 4. To consider ways for improving Parliament's outreach to different sections of youth, in order to reinforce their faith and commitment in democratic institutions and encourage their active participation therein. 5. To hold consultations with experts, national and international, academicians and government agencies concerned on redesigning of public policy in the matter of youth empowerment. 4. Parliamentary Forum on Children. The functions of the forum are: 1. To further enhance awareness and attention of parliamentarians towards critical issues affecting children's well-being so that they may provide due leadership to ensure their rightful place in the development process. 2. To provide a platform to parliamentarians to exchange ideas, views, experiences, expert practices in relation to children, in a structured manner, through workshops, seminars, orientation programs, etc. 3. To provide parliamentarians an interface with civil society for highlighting children's issues, including, inter alia, the voluntary sector, media and corporate sector, and thereby to foster effective strategic partnerships in this regard. 4. To enable parliamentarians to interact in an institutionalized manner with specialized UN agencies like the UNICEF and other comparable multilateral agencies on expert reports, studies, news and trend analysis, etc., worldwide, which are germane to developments in the sector. 5. To undertake any other tasks, projects, assignments, etc., as the forum may deem fit. Parliamentary Forum on Population and Public Health. The functions of the forum are: 1. To have focused deliberations on strategies relating to population stabilization and matters connected therewith. 2. To discuss and prepare strategies on issues concerning public health. 3. To build greater awareness in all sections of the society, particularly at the grassroots level, regarding population control and public health. 4. To hold comprehensive dialogue and discussion in the matter of population and public health with experts at the national and international levels, and to have interactions with multilateral organizations like WHO, United Nations Population Fund, and academicians and government
agencies concerned.
Parliamentary Forum on Global Warming and Climate Change. The functions of the forum are: 1. To identify problems relating to global warming and climate change and make suggestions, recommendations for consideration and appropriate action by the government organizations concerned to reduce the extent of global warming. 2. To identify the ways of involving members of parliament to interact with specialists of national and international bodies working on global warming and climate change with increased effort to develop new technologies to mitigate global warming. 3. To organize seminars, workshops to create awareness about the causes and effects of global warming and climate change among the members of parliament. 4. To identify the ways of involving members of parliament to spread awareness to prevent global warming and climate change. 5. To undertake such other related tasks as it may deem fit. Parliamentary Forum on Disaster Management. The functions of the forum are: 1. To identify problems relating to disaster management and make suggestions, recommendations for consideration and appropriate action by the government organizations concerned to reduce the effects of disasters. 2. To identify the ways of involving members of parliament to interact with specialists of national and international bodies working on disaster management with increased effort to develop new technologies to mitigate the effect of disasters. 3. To organize seminars, workshops to create awareness about the causes and effects of disasters among the members of parliament. 4. To identify the ways of involving members of parliament to spread awareness about disaster management. 5. To undertake such other related tasks as it may deem fit. Parliamentary Forum on Artisans and Craftspeople. The functions of the forum are: 1. To further enhance awareness and attention to parliamentarians towards critical issues affecting artisans and craftspeople so as to preserve and promote traditional art and crafts through various mechanisms. 2. To provide a platform to parliamentarians to exchange ideas, views, experiences, expertise and best practices in relation to artisans and craftspeople, in a structured manner, through workshops, seminars, orientation programs, etc. 3. To provide parliamentarians an interface with civil society for highlighting issues related to craftspeople and artisans, including inter alia, the voluntary sector, media and corporate sector, and thereby to foster effective strategic partnerships in this regard. 4. To enable parliamentarians to interact in an institutionalized manner with representatives of various union ministries, government organizations like Khadi and Village Industries Commission, QUIC, COIR Board, the Council for Advancement of People's Action and Rural Technology, CUPT, and other related organizations, bodies. 5. To hold comprehensive dialogue and discussion on the matters relating to preservation of art and traditional craft and the promotion of artisans and craftspeople with experts organizations at the national and international levels. 6. To undertake any other tasks, projects, assignments, etc. as the forum may deem fit. Parliamentary Forum on Millennium Development Goals. The functions of the forum are: 1. To review and enhance awareness and attention of parliamentarians towards critical issues which have bearing on achievement of goals targets set under Millennium Development Goals by 2015. 2. To provide a platform to parliamentarians to exchange ideas, views, experiences, expertise and best practices in relation to implementation of Millennium Development Goals in a structured manner, through workshops, seminars, orientation programs, etc. 3. To provide parliamentarians an interface with civil society for highlighting issues related to Millennium Development Goals, with eradication of poverty, hunger, achievement of universal primary education, promotion of gender equality and empowerment of women, reduction of child mortality, improving maternal health, combating HIV/AIDS, malaria and other diseases, ensuring environmental sustainability and developing a global partnership for development. 4. To enable parliamentarians to interact, in an institutionalized manner with specialized UN agencies and other comparable multilateral agencies, expert report, studies, news and trend analysis, etc. regarding achievement of Millennium Development Goals. 5. To undertake any other tasks, projects, assignments, etc. as the forum may deem fit. Notes and references. 1. On 12 May 2005, the then Speaker of Lok Sabha, Somnath Chatterjee, informed the House of his decision to constitute a parliamentary forum on water conservation and management so that the members of Parliament may discuss the critical issue of water in a structured manner and also to raise the issue more effectively on the floor of the House. Accordingly, the forum was constituted on 12 August 2005. 2. The years mentioned in the brackets indicate the years of their establishment. 3. The Secretary General of Lok Sabha is the secretary to the forums. 4. The Speaker also constituted 4 sub-forums of the Parliamentary Forum on Youth, viz. I. Sub-forum on Sports and Youth Development, 2. Sub-forum on Health, 3. Sub-forum on Education, 4. Sub-forum on Employment. Each sub-forum has its own convener. Parliamentary Forum's rationale of the group M.N. Cole and S.L. Shachter have nicely explained the rationale of the Indian Parliamentary Group, IPG, in the following way. The establishment and development of relations among parliaments constitutes part of the regular activities of national parliaments. Although promotion of interparliamentary relations has for many years been a significant part